going in.
All right, welcome into the Grand Finals, one and all. Golden League 2, Round 2. We could have had the Spanish Bros reunion, same as Round 1, but instead it is going to be a new champion here. Lucifron eliminated by MarineLorD with a clean sweep. Can he now do Spain dirty? Can he take both bros out, or will VortiX guarantee that he's locked in for a placement in our playoffs? Let's find out. BO7 as we open up on the pit. And as we do, we are going to see the immediate drop down of the House of Wisdom on the backside. Just looking at the spawns as well, they did get that kind of safe tree line to the flank. And I'm noticing there's desirable resources, especially on VortiX's side, that can kind of offset early aggression. Back spawns on the berries. Pretty nice. One thing to consider here is like whether what MarineLorD thinks of trade is viable in this matchup, because we've been talking a lot in the pregame about how good the idea of trade win can be. Drongo, we think it's broken. MarineLorD thinks it's broken. Admittedly, hasn't been able to find the full success we've been expecting. You have to wonder if it can find the success against the Civ that has historically been incredibly aggressive, right? The Deli is definitely a Civ that can come and block you out fast. The crux of this involvement, though, is even if you go for that early aggro, it feels like unless you want to invest in Spearman immediately as a Deli player, the Abbasid is likely to at least get one trade-off, at which point the traders more than pay for themselves.
Yes, yes. I think that's the interesting thing, right? Because previously, we've seen MarineLorD. Oh my god, it's the economic wing. He's not going for trade. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, wait, so he's learned.
That's kind of wild. Yeah, he's learned his lesson. I think what's interesting about this is that very easily he could have gone for trade here.
Yeah.
And there's no real threat to it, as you mentioned, right? Like, the traders are going to walk across the map. They're going to be able to get to that corner. The market will be completed by the time that happens, and they can walk the full length of the map. He will complete that trade. But at this point, it's irrelevant because we've got an economic wing instead.
Exactly. We have to switch script. And it should be highlighted, MarineLorD, like, he had a golden opportunity to go for that gold in his series yesterday when he, I believe it was with VortiX, where he was playing on Basin, and he could have potentially tried for a trade, but he would have had to have walked a villager out to set up a marketplace. I think that's the problem here. I think someone to kind of highlight on MarineLorD's thoughts, because I know like people like to tease him. We know he can take it. He is the chimp, right? But he has a very valid point about the trade wing, especially in a 6-villager start, because it's very difficult to shut down. But in a 12-villager start, you can get solutions in place. The difference in a 6 and 12-villager start is also that by the time you're teching up, you probably have wheelbarrow, but in a 12-villager start, you don't. That's a big difference because it means you'd have to run a villager across the map without the extra movement speed to set up that marketplace. It would delay your timers entirely.
And speaking of villagers, are we able to get the villager numbers up on the UI just so we can take a look at how many vills we've got going on here? Because MarineLorD, he's yet to start researching that wheelbarrow. There it is. Take a look at that. We got the wheelbarrow coming in now.
Yeah.
So expect to see a number of technologies researched for MarineLorD here. We'll see Fertile Crescent. We will see fresh foodstuffs. The question is how soon we're actually going to be seeing anything other than that, because those are your bare basics. You can see you've still got a couple villagers here. Now, Age of Noob does say you're not meant to get your fresh foodstuffs in until your second town center, but he doesn't say you can't gather the gold for it. That's what we see him doing right now.
He can speak it up. And to the point of Fertile Crescent, like, Fertile Crescent is actually low-key a lot stronger than people give it credit for, right? Like, we see it and people immediately think, oh, like, yeah, extra TCs, so farms are cheaper as well. Yeah, but not just farms, right? Like, your drop-off buildings are going to be cheaper. Your houses are going to be cheaper, right? Think how much that adds up to at an early phase in the game. Like, you know, you're several minutes in, you probably built 4 houses already. Instead of spending 200 wood, you spend 100 wood.
Yeah, it's a huge discount that you've got on your buildings here. We do see MarineLorD now going to be looking to drop down that second town center. I'm suspecting we see it on the stone. Let's have a look and see exactly where he puts it. On the stone would indicate that he might be going for more than 2 TCs. If he puts it on the gold, then that's probably just going to limit him. The other option he's got is down over on the deer patch. That's another option for him for his town center.
It's really far away, really right? Yeah. But there are double deers back there, so it could be that, yeah, I think that's the thing, right? The temptation is on the backside where you've got somewhere where it's not like to get noticed, but then you've also got these berries plus deer. And eventually, by the time you're daisy chaining the proxy base to your main, you'll probably then be able to access the front deer.
Yeah. We can see it does get spotted straight away by VortiX, though. It's a really safe spot that he's gone for down here, and you'd suspect that the likelihood he goes for additional town centers after this one is going to be pretty low. I think he's probably just going to look to play it standard on 2 for at least a while. Obviously, the option or the barrier to entry for these additional town centers is really low with this technology, but fresh foodstuffs now coming through for his villagers. That means he's going to be paying for less resources for each of his villas.
VortiX just being a pain in the ass, pushing all the deers away. Unfortunately for him, the berry bushes do not have legs, so he can't push them away, which is, of course, the more desirable thing in this area for both Abbasid and Delhi, anyway.
Look how far he pushed those deer away.
Yep.
He's so rude. I can't believe this guy.
It's like, well, I mean, you're getting the berries. I can't, like, come on, I can't let you have everything, right? We've got to get out of here now. And by the way, you saw that right. MarineLorD is going for the Horseman Spearman comp. I love this choice because what's happened is now when VortiX sees this TC, if he wants to commit into a push into it, he has to kind of go out of position, right? Because it's further away than the main base. It gives an interception point on the way to that for MarineLorD to kind of whittle away at your reinforcements with horsemen.
Yeah, I do like that. It reminds me of kind of like the idea of French trade, where French trade, and so you have to come over to their side of the map to kill them. And then it's like, well, you're over my side of the map, and look who's got all these knights, and I'm just going to annihilate you. It's that kind of idea where you're basically almost baiting the enemy so you can intercept and kill them. But we do see the archery range going to be coming down now. The 1-1-1, the standard, the GUA build is coming through from MarineLorD here in the first game.
And if we check in the Delhi base, I'm expecting VortiX. He's already got the 1-1-1. I'm expecting the blacksmiths quite quickly here because if you want to address this TC, you have to be fast. If you wait too long, the daisy chain I talked about happens, and then you have to worry about fire armor. He's going to want to pump siege engineering. In fact, he's already got it. So VortiX, I talked at the start of the day about him being probably the best RAM user in the game right now. Like, he's incredible, right? Like, honestly, I thought it would be Wham one day, but instead it's VortiX. He could hit timing.
He's got a market.
Wait,
look at this market. This is,
one.
Yeah, I think he's going all in.
Yeah,
I think he's going all in, and he's going to be market trading the gold he's getting and putting it into wood/food and just spamming units like crazy. Wow.
Yeah,
I've never seen this before. A market deli opening.
And they do. He does it a lot. And there's what he does with it. Immediately into the round. This is what I'm talking about, the timing. He understands at this point in the game, like, how does MarineLorD, like, when he goes multi-TC, even with Fertile Crescent, even with the discounts from fresh foodstuffs, how would he have enough to defend? The answer is quite simple. He does not. Look at the military pop cap comparative here. Look at the units being built as well, right? He's got double the horsemen, double the archers. VortiX is able to float and sustain this because now he's going to always have those sacred sites with them being walled off. Because if MarineLorD pulls troops to decap them, he can just take the main fight instead.
All right, well, 2 sacred sites have been taken. The central one has been secured. The third one, have we got the Imperial official? Have we got the scholar on that bad boy just yet?
Yeah, there we go.
He's making his way downtown.
TikTok goes the clock because now MarineLorD needs to decap. And the problem is, like, he can't enter central. He can't easily take this one because of the posturing. VortiX is now forced a situation where MarineLorD would have to take part of his army, which is outnumbered right now, to the furthest sacred site to stop this timer.
How many vills does he have down on this town center? Because ideally, you're going to want 3 groups of vills.
Probably 12.
The first group of vills jump in the town center. These guys are going to be firing arrows off at the units that are protecting the battering rams.
Even more, 15.
The second group of vills, they're going to be repairing up the town center.
Yes.
The third group of vills, they're going to be sieging down the battering rams. Now, obviously, with less villagers here, it means that those roles are going to be somewhat hybrid.
But not just that, Drongo. Look at what VortiX done. He waited for 3 rams. He's optimized this build. He was able to annihilate MarineLorD with this play, with this matchup on a different map yesterday. And the difference is that this time, instead of going in with 2 rams, half-cocked on the gun and not immediately get the TC, he gets enough to guarantee that it's do or die for MLord.
Yeah, this is a lot of rams. And the damage that comes out from these rams is so quick. You can see him now looking to push in with them. Not enough villagers here to start beginning sieging down these rams. We talked about it, the fact that there's 3 specific roles that need to be completed here. No one to repair. He's going to be able to pull the villagers and force these rams back. The number of units coming through from VortiX is looking solid, but it doesn't look like it's going to be able to hold against this defense from the Abbasid.
Gonna keep probing though. That was a great play there by VortiX. He waited for the horsemen to engage. Then the horsemen were body blocking the spears from the main fight because they were chasing the ram. It meant that he was able to kind of buff that fight and just oppress that front line. It will reset though. MarineLorD does hold on for the moment, but it's a lot of idle time. And I don't really feel like, you know, he's feeling as confident about his position. Yes, he now does have the military pop cap lead, but the pressure is mounting. That sacred site timer is ticking, and VortiX is now walling them off.
This is a nice little play from VortiX. Obviously, he's invested a lot of resources into the rams. wasn't successful to push. It was a great defense coming through from MarineLorD. But I think it's smart to be able to cut your losses here and not invest further into this. Because as we talked about earlier, the sunk cost fallacy would state that VortiX right here needs to continue investing in this attack. He's already invested 750 resources. He must continue investing more. But obviously, if he does that, this is really bad. He's just going to open a hole right in this wall.
Whoops.
Oh my lord, that's terrible. I hate that. I really dislike that as a mechanic.
That's problematic. That's given the opening. He's got enough troops here to go for the decap. Because remember, VortiX, he peeled off all of his horsemen to flank on the sides. Look for the eco. MarineLorD knows this. He spotted it and he mirrored with his spears. So he can just push the entire way back across the map and now take away that win condition from VortiX. The villagers are out.
Spearmen are coming out. They're going to be able to repel the horsemen on the front line, and villagers, look at them getting pulled as well. They've got their stakes in hand, but stakes, you're going to need more than stake to deal with this. Abbasid units screaming out in pain as they do slowly but steadily lose their lives, and counterattacks happening behind it. Remember those horsemen you talked about earlier, KP?
They come back. Right as a row here. They're in. They can body block the retreat as well and allow the reinforcements to catch up. A heavy hit for MarineLorD. He needs to cut and run and get away from this. I don't feel like there's enough spears to turn it.
Yeah, but still, the numbers are still looking solid for him. Spearman going to be coming through. I'm not sure if the phalanx upgrades has arrived, but +1 does come through for him. And now VortiX going to be looking solid on the offensive, and the battering rams making their way down. Once again, it's just a non-stop meat grinder of units here.
It really is. The dramatic deaths. Just look at that pile. I mean, honestly, if they keep dying in that same spot, you won't need a wall here. There'll just be a wall of bodies instead. But at the end of the day, I mean, VortiX is miles ahead now. You know, MarineLorD, yes, he has the eco advantage, but he now needs to quickly reboom the army before the Rams shuffle in.
Yeah, the one thing to note for me is that I feel like the mass for VortiX isn't going to be sufficient to challenge that town center, though, because he's not going to be able to defend the battering rams against the villagers.
True.
And that's going to give MarineLorD time that he needs to build back up.
Now, hear me out here, right? Like, we have to remember that this Sacred Site timer is still ticking down. We're 5 minutes away. Finally, he's going to peel for it. But this whole while, VortiX has been getting 150 gold per site, right? To put that in, like, metrics in terms of villages, a villager gathers about 40, right? So each of these Sacred Sites is almost worth 4 villages. So that eco lead at the top is quite deceptive. You'd think it was fully in favor of MarineLorD, but it's not that simple.
Yeah, add another 12 villagers onto VortiX. That's the reality of it.
Yes.
And that's infinite gold that's coming in there. That's gold that's not getting mined out from his gold mines, the safest gold mine that he's got underneath his town center. It is free gold that he's getting.
And the way he uses it as well, like more wood. He keeps buying wood because he keeps reaching this cap on gold. Like, unless you're building more scholars, you have no use for this right now, right? He's getting up to 600. He's like, am I ready for Castle Age? No. Well, I'm going to buy wood then. More rams on the way. 4 rams could actually be quick enough and decisive enough to take out this TC.
I think you might be right. Yeah, this is a lot of rams. This doesn't seem like there's enough units here to hold it. VortiX has got a solid amount. The question's going to be whether MarineLorD has built enough of an economic lead here. He's got plenty of vills in the back, 10 vills inside the town center. He's going to need to pull vills to repair here. But at the same time, it looks like the numbers from VortiX are going to be really solid. He's got a beautiful little concave here on the spot, defending by pulling the horsemen through. The archers on the backside and the town center are going to be going down. Not enough vills to repair. No villagers sieging down the rams. And with that, it almost looks certain this TC goes down. And with that, all of the villagers as well.
Exactly. Watch his villager count and how it will shrink behind this, right? That's 20 villagers out here. That's his entire lead. He needs to get them out. He has no army to defend this. VortiX now doubling up the military pop cap. Best thing you can do is burn a ram, because you're not going home unless you're going home in a body bag.
And at this point, MarineLorD, his villager count begins to drop quickly. 15 workers taken out in the blink of an eye. And he's taken out rams, but at the end of the day, all that VortiX needed to do was take down that TC, stop that late game scaling, and also take out villagers with it to guarantee. And there it is.
Wow.
That is it. Beautiful play from VortiX in this first game of the Grand Final Series.
VortiX proving the bane of MarineLorD's existence. This man has talked about the Abbasids and how secretly strong they are, how they've still not been figured out, how there are wills and ways for them to come out. But in this game, he can do nothing but right his will. VortiX, once again, beats him out in the Delhi Abbasid matchup.